All right, so I don't know if you've heard how bad things are getting out there in the American economy, and I just want to bring this up because the American dream now comes with a 23% interest rate. Is that possible? And what are they talking about when they talk about the American dream? Well, for a lot of people, it's being able to buy a house, being able to buy a car, and of course, funding groceries and having a life, sending your kids to college. Well, the problem is that American consumers are tapped out. And this, a lot of this information came from a Blaze Media article entitled, basically, The American Dream Now Comes with a High Interest Rate. And here's the gist of the story. We're beyond living paycheck to paycheck. We are now living loan to loan. And I'll tell you what I mean in just a second. Because what's happening is that a lot of predatory lenders are out there, right? And they are offering things like financing food, financing delivery, Grubhub type of stuff. And what happens then is you can order and you can take up 3 months to pay for your groceries or 3 months to pay for your Grubhub deliveries. And of course, if you don't have money, you shouldn't be using those services to begin with. But what's happening is that people end up getting so broke and getting so far behind that in order, sometimes they have to make a choice between making payments and buying food. And so what they're doing is they're racking up more and more credit card debt and putting it on for food purchases, and even to buy things that they don't necessarily need to buy, like eating out. So we've stretched out auto loans now up to 84 months, and some of those, to get those kind of terms, if you don't have great credit, you're looking at 22 to 23% interest rates. And this has been verified on some of the other auto loan dealer sites, because what's happened is people are getting considered prime lenders or prime borrowers, but not getting prime rates. And a lot of people don't know how to buy cars, so they go into a dealer and the only thing they care about is, what's my payment going to be? They don't care how much they finance, they don't care how much they're upside down. Well, what happens then is that an auto dealer loves to finance you because they get kickbacks for the rates. And of course, the higher the rate they get, the more the kickback they get. And I can give you from my firsthand knowledge, I went to finance my last car a little over a year ago that I was going to buy and finance. And with my 825 credit score, the best they could get me was a 10.5% for a 60-month, 5-year loan. That was the best the auto dealer could get me. That's ridiculous, especially with that kind of a credit score. So what happens then, though, is that people that want new things when they can't afford them will take anything to get that new thing. So that's part of the problem. The other part of the problem is that we have $1.2 trillion in credit card debt as Americans. Right? And auto loans equal up to $676 billion in auto loans. But the fact that our credit card debt is double what an auto loan is horrendous. And that's because, at least with an auto loan, your purchase is backed by the car. Even if you're upside down, the dealer, the loan manufacturer that gave you the loan will at least take the car back to make up some of their losses. Credit card debt is completely unbacked by anything. You're buying things that you can't afford with money you don't have for no reason. Things that you don't need, obviously. Because if you do need it, you need some help to find out financially what's going wrong. Okay, if you are at a point where you're financing and using your credit card to buy food and you can't pay that debt off every month, you shouldn't be buying food with a credit card. You need to get rid of your finances and get things back in order. Okay, but nearly 25% of all Americans are using buy now, pay later for food purchases. Now, either you're that far upside down with your finances, or you're living way beyond your means, or you're buying food that you maybe can't afford too. And I understand that there's situations out there where people have to make a harsh choice. I get that. I understand. I've been there too, where it was, we put food on credit cards. When I had my heart surgery 20 years ago, we put everything on credit cards so that we could pay the bills that wouldn't take credit card payments. I get that. We all have a season in our life where things can be tough. However, there's ways to get around that too and to make things easier. And we found our way through that, and so can you. And now, to make matters worse, I say predatory lending because a lot of these situations are, if you miss even one payment, your interest rate could go up to 36% or more. We're talking about loan shark numbers. What are we dealing with, the mafia here to buy food? It's ridiculous. But see, that's what predatory lending is all about. Well, here's why it reflects on us as we go into our senior years and go into retiring. We become the prey for these predatory lenders. They're going to promise you the moon to try to get a sale and to try to get a financing offer out of you. And when we're seniors and living on fixed incomes, our finances need to be in order. And it needs to be, you have to be very strict with your budget and strict with how you spend your money. And you need to know where every dollar is going. So don't ever, think that you can't be taken advantage of because you're older, because people get suckered all the time. All right. So when you're on fixed income and minimal opportunities to expand that income, you have to be very careful about getting into these situations. Anyway, the biggest thing that any of us can do, the smartest thing, is to save early, save often, and never quit. Make it a habit that you're constantly saving for your future. If you're at this point now, you may feel like it's too late, but it's never too late to try to save and get your financial house in order. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one, and we'll see you next time.